Hey folks, my name is Pravus. Welcome back to more Farthest Frontier in our small little settlement of Dryton. Which, yes, sounds a lot like Brighton, I am aware. That is sort of an intentional play on words. We are playing at the maximum difficulty. Everything is scaled up, from resource issues to raiders to wild animals, and we are also playing on the most hostile environment available in the game, the Drylands, where there is very little water or food to go around. Yet somehow we are scratching out a meager living thus far. Aside from some lightning storms, I'd say things have gone pretty darn well. We are still expecting to get raided at any time now. It's kind of unusual that it hasn't happened by now. My experience, usually by year 4, you're kind of guaranteed to have been hit. So far, nothing. We'll see how long that luck ends up holding. We're trying to set up some farms down over here, by the way, knowing full well that farming is not ideal in this terrain, but if this is going to be a long-term investment that lets us sustain larger populations, we need to start making that investment very, very early on, and that is exactly what I am going to do. I want to apologize, by the way, because I did not expect to go this long in between the first episode and this new one you're watching right now. That was certainly not supposed to happen. You see, there are some extenuating circumstances. First off, I had a sinus infection for the last 2 or 3 weeks, including when I recorded the first episode. If you didn't know, that means I did my job well. But then I went on an international trip to Sweden, and on the way back, I picked up European influenza, which was the worst strain of influenza I've had in a very long time, and that knocked me out. In fact, I'm still recovering from it, and I'm very congested. So, yeah, a little bit of time in between, no recording for a while for me, voice was not available, still is not great. But the show must go on. I don't want to keep you guys waiting that long. This game is fun. It's an exciting premise, and I don't want to keep you guys sitting around for too long here. I gotta keep that attention going on YouTube, you know? I gotta stay relevant. That's how this goes. Anyway, I'll try to keep things going a bit more consistently. Just understand if I drop off the face of the earth, that's why. Looks like all of my fields are now about to be done. Excellent. All right. So that at least is one major step complete. Don't mind also the idea of just placing down an apiary now here in the center. Might as well. 67% bonus to honey. I think this only gets better as the fertility grows. Could be wrong on that, but a little extra honey and beeswax, you don't know. It's non-perishable food, or mostly non-perishable. And beeswax eventually will be useful for making trade goods like candles. Another knowledge point generated. I need to worry about getting blacksmiths or forges or anything quite yet. Some defensive structures, medicine, prevent disease spread, a little bit more, better wells. Those are all okay. We will want to get wagons at some point soon. Wagons are very, very useful. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and boost up our forage a little bit further. A little bit more gathering ability, you know, just builds me some buffer. That's all I'm trying to do, is just get enough food to sustain a large enough population until I'm able to get farming truly online. So anything that helps with that makes me feel a little bit more secure. Very concerned by the lack of raiders, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and build myself another defensive tower. Not like it's... Oh, there's my loot, by the way. Sweet. Okay, Tome of Knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's all pretty good. Pretty good stuff. I just don't know if we're going to end up having an extra large raid as a result. So I'd rather just be on the defensive side and, you know, maybe it turns out I don't need this tower, but, I mean, it's like the gold ingots are coming in anyway. We're getting them free from salvage. We're getting them from some taxes. We might as well. Plus, since I did not build myself on a hill, it just makes me think even more that maybe I'm going to need the extra defenses. The accuracy of these towers is going to be atrocious. There's really no way around that, unfortunately. Maybe if I built up over here, this would have been better. Ah, well, we're in it now. And there's the raiders. Okay. So we knew this was going to happen eventually. So they're coming from two opposite directions over here. So... how are we going to deal with this? I mean, there's really no good option aside from everyone just has to retreat. I do need to have everyone get their weapons. Let's go ahead and immediately grab everybody to the towers so that they will get bows and everything else. Cart, start heading back. The cart often has, like, weapons and armor and stuff on it. If it's out of position, people are like, I'm going to go over here and get my weapons. It's like, what are you doing? You're out of position. You're going to die. You get the idea. So we'll do that. And then in just a second, I'm going to have to ring the town bell and say, everybody get back home. Every single one of you, no exceptions, get home right now. Last thing I want is for a lone hunter to be out caught with his pants down. You know what I mean? All right, let's go ahead and raid the bell. There we go. Everyone in. Everyone get in. What are these farmers doing? No, for real, what are you guys doing? Town bell? Town bell does not mean things to people? Town bell? Everyone get inside? Do people just not listen to me? Like, really, though, do people actually just straight out not listen to what I tell them? Whatever, the hunters are doing some work, though. Well done. Holy crud. So, they killed one brawler over here, and then they retreated inside of the homes, which I guess is fine if he leaves them alone. Thieves are on the way. They almost always have a targeting bias toward your town center or your storehouse. Wherever it seems like the most value has been stored up. If they can reach some of your towers, they often like killing those as well. All you usually have to do is just do enough damage that they decide they want to run away. As you may have noticed, our archers are kind of bad shots, but we got them. All right, problem solved. I don't understand why all these guys didn't retreat, though. There was plenty of space. Y'all were supposed to hide. And they said, you know what, the soldiers got it. Why do you think we have 4 people in towers and stuff if they're not going to deal with it? I don't even know. Also, I did notice, by the way, something that I think is new in the game, or at least since the last time I played. It used to be that if you rang this town bell, it was very much like an Age of Empires 2 thing. Everyone just kind of, held up and they just shot at enemies as they come through. Looks like it also creates 4 guard jobs. So you have at least a small militia of ground troops. Now, I don't necessarily like that, because I felt a lot... Thank you, Lightning Storm. I felt a lot better about having everyone hold up behind some walls and shooting at things. Now I've got people that are standing out in the open begging to die. But whatever, it's fine. It's kind of cool that that exists. I'm going to try placing down a shrine, by the way, in place of one of those spots I was reserving for some parks. It still boosts up desirability for all the nearby homes, which is a good thing. Though be careful not to boost up your desirability too much, because you may very well find that all of a sudden all your homes need to get upgraded, and they don't really ask you if you'd like to upgrade, they just sort of do it, which means all of a sudden your resources get drained away, and you're like, where'd my resources go? And then it's like, all right, everyone upgraded their homes. You need to be a little bit more slow and methodical about how you approach this. It's a little awkward, it's just one of those things you kind of get used to in Farthest Frontier. It's fine. Now, what else could I build up? Well, I would like to get myself that wagon shop we had talked about. It's a very nice thing to have. Wagons are basically your best method of transporting large amounts of goods around. So it's great to have on hand. In fact, sometimes you need to end up having like multiple in your town. The only problem is it does take a lot of lumber and stuff to build any of the wagons. Anyway, the other thing we know we're going to need is going to be a trading post where goods are stocked and sold with merchants. Placing this down should be enough to trigger the merchants to start arriving, which would be great. I'll go ahead and place it, though I'll pause the construction for this moment. Now, we have to have this in order to progress up to Tier 3. Why? Well, if I click on the town center here, my upgrade is going to take me 200 clay. It's going to be very, 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 very difficult to find clay anywhere on this map, which means we're pretty much going to have to buy it. Now, I have a lot of other much more pressing objectives to worry about. 3,000 gold, 20 upgraded homes, a school, which, by the way, also takes clay to build, and so on. So there's a lot to do, but it's just there's certain things we're never going to find naturally here, which means trade is my only method of advancing in the game. That's fine in the sense that trade can be very, very strong in this game. Once you become good at it and you start overproducing the right kinds of goods, it actually takes away a lot of the difficulty. Plus, we have gold ingots everywhere on this particular map. So producing wealth won't be that hard. It's just getting to that point. Another tech point, what else could I want? Faster movement speed for foragers and hunters and stuff is not a bad idea. Sure, I'll take that. And let's just go ahead and take care of some of the fertility loss issues once I get my next point. Are we making any progress on these farms? A little bit, but it is slow. This last round of clover only boosted this up by about 2% fertility. Just 2 measly stinking percent. Oh my gosh, hold on. 16 people have arrived. Oh boy. I accept... But you guys should be aware, I have nowhere near enough food for all of you. What are your thoughts on cannibalism? Are you opposed? Is that a no-no? Hello, I see a bear. Hold on, we're going on a bear hunt. That thing's trying to sneak up on me. I'm not gonna let him do that. Get that bear, get that bear. That's a brown bear too. Brown bears are scary. Grizzly bears are even scarier. The only thing I'm not scared of are freaking little black bears. Those guys are wusses. Anyway, I feel like we now have got to find more ways of getting food. But there aren't more ways of getting food, so all I can do is just stack up on more hunting cabins and more gathering and just get anything I can with what little I've got. I give it a very high likelihood that we have some starvation issues this winter. But we'll see. Training facility is up, by the way, so we're done there. Could start stocking up some items that I'm willing to sell if I have anything I'm willing to sell, which is not much. I really just don't have any goods. That's the key issue here. And I wish I could also get like a general idea of like base value so I'd know what goods are probably going to be worth the most. Merchants, as they come through, they all prefer different items. They want to buy and sell different things. They offer better prices on different things. So I understand why it doesn't show that because it's not always consistent, but even so. Hello, it's our first little merchant buddy. Okay, we're about to find out what this guy actually wants. The answer is he wants crossbows, flour, baskets, clay, clothes, and roots. Well, aren't you just aren't you just pleasant? Aren't you just a kick in the teeth? You've got absolutely nothing for me. Get out of here. The other merchant that just arrived, on the other hand, she would like to buy some of my pelts. I could sell that off. Here's somebody who would like to buy gold ore. All right, so gold ore is apparently worth, looks like about, on average, 12 gold ingots or so. Okay. So that's actually not a half bad amount of value, to be honest. All I have to do is unlock mining tech, and we actually could start building something up here. I think that Atka of the Iron Clan is going to end up being my best friend. We'll be selling lots of iron ore, coal, and gold to her. That will be my primary moneymaker for the early game for at least a long while. And then eventually another trader will come through that can sell lots of raw goods, like clay, and I'll be able to start picking things up from there. Then, if I can just buy enough raw goods to start producing enough useful merchant goods like pottery and such, maybe we can start turning a profit. Maybe. What do we need for mining tech, though? That's up here somewhere, right? Yeah, it's right there. I could get this, like, very, very soon. We should probably spend our next point on that. 12 more people want to immigrate into the village. Do we want to do that? What am I going to do with that many extra people is the problem. Like, having extra folks is great if you have a lot of jobs to work. This could be good, I guess. All right, I'll take them. This could be good for when I do have my extra knowledge point for mining, which I just got. So what I'll do is I'll send them all into the mines. And if they die, then fine. I save myself food and haven't really cost myself anything, I guess. I don't know. Let's go ahead and place a couple of small mines over here. There's gold and there's coal. As long as you have wagons to carry the heavy loads, this should be very feasible for us economically. Another merchant arrives. What does this guy like? He wants to buy clothes and stuff, which actually I could produce in a bit more excess and sell off. That's not the worst thing. Tools, shoes, could sell off excess stone. Yeah, that's a way of making some cash. I actually don't mind doing that. And then sand. Sand is not worth a lot, but sand is something I would have an excess of. We're gonna be kind of like Australia for a while, you know? Just like, selling off raw resources to survive. The problem is, I really need to do that, because this guy, oh, raid. This guy also sells clay, and clay is what's gonna help me advance. So we have to sell something here. Anyway, speaking of raid, so, how big is the group gonna be this time, do we think? Probably pretty big. Let's go ahead and ring that bell, say everybody get back home, please. That is a very large group. All right, so let's see, we got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 9 raiders, huh? 9 raiders, huh? Okay, I've got hunters. I mean, if I wanted to, I could stack the hunters up and just rain death upon a bunch of them. Mostly, though, I just want you all to pull the frick back. Like that thing you guys are not doing right now? Yeah, that. Get out of here. So where are you guys actually going, though? I'm actually kind of curious. Where are you guys going? Because I figured you'd all be coming straight here, but you're not. Whatever, my hunters are here. They're doing their job. Please do not destroy this tower. It's expensive to build those things. I'd really rather not have to pay the cost of doing it again. Wait a minute, there's a whole nother group! Oh my god! Okay, we need to get our other hunters. Other hunters. Yeah, you guys. You guys all gonna have to be my mobile forces. Where the heck are my guards? You know, I got half a mind to believe that the best defense in this game is actually just build a bunch of bows and arrows, and then have like 10 hunters cabins, and most of them will not be in use, but when there's a raid, just have a mobile force of hunters. That seems reasonable, because like they're actually doing some work. Their aim is substantially better. We'll just kite these guys around for a little bit. Okay, perfect. Village was raided, they gave up. Woo! Victory is mine! Didn't lose anybody. Was a near thing, though. Not a fan of how that worked out. Not a fan of that at all. All right. Let's start selling some stuff. Sell off that gold. Sell off some stone. Buy that clay. So with that 100 clay, what do I want to do with it? Well, we could build our school. That is a requirement for us eventually. This can be good because it boosts up the effectiveness of your workers. Plus, it is a way of increasing desirability for all homes and such, which we're going to need. Our desirability up to this point has kind of sucked. If I can get it above, what, 30%? I think that's when we start getting some homesteads upgraded. So that could be good. That would be worth extra taxes and so on. I want all of that. Oh, I need herbs. I forgot about that. In order to get homesteads, not only do you have to have 30 desirability and 2 different types of food, but you have to have herbs. I have no herbs on this map. Herbs do not exist. Which means, just like the clay, I'm going to have to rely exclusively on purchasing that from people. We could request that from a merchant. That is a thing. You can do that. There's this little button right here. It's like, hey, request this item be brought by the next merchant. It's just, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. They really, really are. I think we're just kind of stuck for the moment. We are stuck for a little bit longer. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and build out that school now. Let's just do that. Start the process of educating our pops. I don't have to worry about the houses upgrading until I get herbs, so I'm not about to set myself into like an economic spiral. So we might as well just get that benefit. And how are we doing on fertility? Good God, it's making almost no progress at all. It is going up. It's just such a minuscule amount. I want to know how much food realistically I can start getting out of these, even if I do this just in a couple of spots. So next year, let's start with field maintenance, and then I'm just going to grow beans. I'm going to see how many beans we realistically can get here. And then after that, I think it's just a matter of literally stacking clover. Nothing else. You have 1 year out of every 3 producing some food. And it's not a lot. Of course, we also have villagers getting struck with cholera, and we have fires, and we have blizzards, and good God. The game really, really, really wants to remind me that, hey, by the way, you did increase the difficulty. Just, like, don't get comfortable. But the school is done. That is going to be a major achievement. I'm out of workers, you say? Really? Great. Ay, ay, ay. What do I do with this last knowledge point? We could go for even more mining speed. Really commit to making the money. Like, really commit to it. I am tempted to say, actually, let's go ahead and make it harder for disease to spread, because so far this has been awful. We could also boost up our birth rate, so getting more population would be a little bit easier. I also want the carrying capacity. I want less work speed for smoked meat, since we're still not smoking nearly fast enough. Ay, 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 it's hard to say. Well, apparently I have 2 points. I thought I only had 1, so I guess we'll do both. We'll do the reduced disease chance since people are dying, and we'll go ahead and increase the speed of mining so I can stack up money a little faster and try to slingshot my way into victory here. But the school being done is a good milestone. It is. It really is. 200 population is not happening this episode, I'll tell you that much. Woo! If you can get yourself... Oh, hello. 11 people, I'll take them. If you can get yourself up to tier 3, that is such a huge deal for boosting up your trade economy. You can start producing all manner of good stuff. So I really want to do that. Freaking fires again. Does no one actually have any fire safety in this town? All right, you can't blame this one on God. All right, I watched this one just go up in flame. Somebody burnt the popcorn again. Did you guys know, actually some of you guys do, but I've talked about it before, but did you guys know that I was an RA in college? Resident advisor, we call them, for those who do not live in the United States and have to deal with the American university system. Basically, you are, well, for lack of better words, you're the school narc. You are the guy who has to make sure that everyone is following the rules and not breaking stuff and damaging school property in the dorms and blah, blah, blah. It's actually a really thankless and unpleasant job. No students like you, but you do it anyway, because it is a job that basically pays for half of your schooling. It's a pretty good deal, in my opinion. It's worth being isolated. Anyways, do you know how many times I had to deal with people burning the freaking popcorn? God, it was like the #1 source of all fire issues in the freaking houses. It was just, yeah, it's like the alarm went off. All right, it's like a 70% chance somebody doesn't understand how to make popcorn. It's really easy, guys. There's even one button for it on a microwave. What's wrong with you people? Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but it's a fun one. More traders have arrived. Oh, good, it's Atka. Atka, guess what? I have gold for you. It's not worth as much as I would like it to be, but it's money. Notice this here, by the way. Beans. How much is it estimating we're going to get this year? Only 146 beans. This is not working well. Is there something I'm missing about boosting up fertility here? Exactly. I mean, the impact on yield is pretty atrocious. It is reducing the yield by a lot. If I had 100% fertility, I think I'd be able to get close to the amount that I'm looking for. So do I just tough it? Just keep doing this and do nothing but just freaking get those clovers going? Oh god, maybe, actually. Well, I might have to just accept a small yield on a couple of fields just to tide me over with enough food to get through the year as the population grows, but most of these fields have to be on nothing but clover duty. This will work eventually. I'm almost positive, unless they've rebalanced something. But there's no denying it's painful. You know something I have never built before, because it's new? We could build out an academy at some point. Does this increase desirability, by the way? It does not. Okay, good to know. So the academy is a way of generating some additional knowledge points. Faster knowledge points would certainly be nice. It would unlock new structures and so on. Is that a worthwhile investment? It's very expensive. It's going to cost me 500 gold ingots just to place. Could make it even better, though. Throw in a couple extra points here, 30% more knowledge speed of the academy, and then just ideally start chunking through the points super fast. I don't know. I don't know if it would actually make much of a difference, if I'm honest. It might. It's probably a good thing to do, but at this difficulty level, I'm going to say it's probably not worth it yet. We're starting to make just a little bit of headway with our food, though, which is good. Looks like mostly we are getting lots of meat, hazelnuts, and such, then smoking it up properly. It's not a lot, but you don't really need more than like 2 or 3 months of food in advance at this stage of the game. Most of the time, you just won't be able to consume fast enough before spoilage is an issue. So this is okay. Eventually, obviously, we'll need to have a much, much larger stockpile of food, but it's the best I can do, and it's better than just sort of like hanging on by a hair, because that's what we've been doing up to this point. So lots and lots and lots of hunters has resulted in a surprising amount of food to sustain the population. We're okay. And on the plus side, when the next round of raiders comes by, I'll have an army of like 8 hunters ready to shoot them dead, which they'll probably be here any time now. I mean, it's year 9. I feel like we're due for another raid here pretty soon. We're really struggling to keep our population up, though. Too many people just dying of random stupid diseases. Typhoid, cholera, they all get you at some point. We may have no choice but to invest a point in the healer's house just to increase the odds that people survive. Protect our most valuable asset, that is the people, right? Or we could boost up the birth rate, but I don't know. I feel like 10% isn't enough here. Nursing's probably the next thing we need to get, and then after that I might actually try going for the academy. Because if I can start getting points faster, maybe that's worth it, right? Just for a little raw efficiency boosts here and there. For things like construction speed, for things like reducing disease on crops, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it's going to be, I feel like technology might be our best way of getting the most value out of each of our individual workers. Because otherwise, we're literally just sitting around. I'm sitting around waiting for traders, and I'm going to sit around waiting to get to somehow 200 pops. Well, while I'm waiting, I might as well become super duper smart. Anyway, lots more coal and gold to sell off. Done. Thank you. You have anything I care about? No. Where's the herb person? I need an herb. More villagers are graduating from school here, by the way. I don't even know how they're having the time to go and get themselves edumacated. But they're doing it. Cool. Can we actually find a educated worker? Because I'd like to remind myself exactly what that does. Education, basic, yes. None. I think all we're doing is just getting ourselves the basic education. That's all we can do at the moment. Yeah. It'd be nice if you, like, hovered over this and it told you exactly what it did. That would be a very nice thing, wouldn't it? But it don't. I am pretty sure it just literally increases the efficiency of all of their jobs. Like, whatever they do, they're just slightly better at it. I'm pretty sure. All right, we have a second trader. What do you got? You have no herbs. What do you know? But you do have baskets. Well, rather, you have willow. I could use that to make some baskets. Plus, of course, you do have the clay as well that I covet. Ooh, I may want to do something about this. Yeah, like, what if I just got a bunch of willow and started making baskets to just boost up the efficiency of my economy? I don't think that would be a bad idea. Go to our resources over here and see if I can't find the basket shop. There you are. I do think this is worth doing. I do. So I am going to do it. There's that knowledge point I have been looking for. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and grab the nursing, which means under, what, amenities, we can pick up the healer's house. Now, this does cost a bit of clay. The real killer of the healer's house is that it costs you a whole mess of gold per month. Like, it is so expensive. So expensive. Like, why is it even in my medieval community healthcare is prohibitively expensive here, huh? Whatever, we just turn it on whenever people are sick and then turn it off when people aren't. That's kind of the only way to make this work. Okay, somebody got dysentery. I've assigned someone to the healer house. Where the heck is my sick person, though? This is another issue I've had sometimes in the game where it's just like, so who's sick and who is not actually going to the doctor for some reason? Because this is costing me $25 a month just to have this active. So if you don't actually show up, then, like, what happens? Bad stuff. You die. All right, frick it. You had your chance. If you die, you die. That's what you get. See? He died. What do you know? You absolute moron. I don't feel bad for you at all. Not even a little bit. New merchant. This guy sells herbs. Okay, we finally got it. Let us buy a decent amount from you. About as many as I can afford at the moment, which is like 188. Transfer that all to the town storage. Thank you, sir. Do I need that many to upgrade houses? Absolutely not, but there's a very good chance I'll want that for things like medicine later on, right? So I figure that's got to be okay. And here we go. We can already see some of the housing is getting upgraded. Homesteads, here we come. This is where you need to have lots of planks and lots of logs sitting around, because they're just going to get eaten up now, whether I like it or not. Which I do. I do like it. So it's okay. There we go. Besides, they're much nicer looking houses, too. They look great. Besides, it gets me extra happiness for my people. It has even more capacity, so more people can move into the town. We get extra income. It's just good. It's a good thing to have. Now, getting up to the next level is going to be a bit tougher, because that's where you have to have things like pottery and candles. Plus, 60 desirability means lots of parks, temples, and so on. Whatever, we're not getting that anytime soon. For now, Tier 2 is probably the best I can hope for. Alrighty, raids on the way, huh? Well, we know what to do in this case. We need to have ourselves a whole mess of hunters ready to shoot them dead. Really would rather not lose anybody. I need these guys to get distracted on things like towers. Oh, they can hit my, my trading post, huh? That actually makes sense. I probably should have thought of that. I need to pull back over here because I'm getting shot at and I really don't want to lose anybody. I think they're all cleared down to the south. This is going to be a recurring thing, man, until I actually have a proper standing militia. Only one raider remaining. It's the brawler over here with the bow, and I think he's out of arrows. He's dead. Okay. Problem solved once again. Hunters are great, man. I honestly never used hunters for early game defense like this, but I'm starting to see the value. It's working pretty well. But you know something? Despite all these big issues we're definitely having, I mean, the town is certainly growing as we want it to. We have not quite 20 homesteads. We're up to 17 right now, but I think just get a little bit more desirability in a couple spots, problem will be solved. The population's the thing that's going to slow me down, because unless I have lots of immigration, it's not like my birth rate is great. And since no one wants to use the healer's house appropriately, keeping y'all alive is going to be a little bit harder than I thought it would be. Tell you what, let's just go ahead and build up that academy. All right, let's build this thing up. I want to know how effective this is. It's expensive, I know, but if it gets me a lot of extra technology, I say, well worth. And here comes my academy, bada boom. All right. So with this, looks like you just have people working here, and they just start conducting research. Do I see an update in the number of months depending on how many people I have actively researching? Well, it turns red for one. Sign a couple of people. Looks like maybe it shaved off about a month. Okay, yeah. I have to assume this is actually halfway decent for us. So anytime I've got a surplus of extra laborers sitting around, just go ahead and start generating points faster, which I will then use to boost up my birth rate. So I can start working toward the 200 freaking pops that I'm going to need in order to upgrade to a tier 3. Okay. Progress, progress, progress. It is slow, it is painful, it is like pulling teeth. Food is still exceptionally scarce. We are barely scraping by. Farming is not proven to be amazing. Oh, and we have a big raid on the way. Yeah. Oh, good. Preparations while you can. Preparations my butt, as if that's going to do me a whole lot of good. Oh, boy. Well, I feel like that's probably a good place for us to end this episode, though. So thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I'd ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.